Off the Binge podcast, and I'm your host, Legendary Vash, and with me is my co-host, the Hispanic assassin Crash, as we like to call him. This is your go-to seasonal anime podcast where we dive into the best, the unexpected, and the hidden gems of each season, and we review weekly. Today is our 9th episode. We bring you the week 12 coverage of the fall season anime. And how was this fall season ranking for you? Let us know down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's start the fucking show. I'm your host, Legendary Vash, and you know me, I'm all about those long titles on Sekai. And as John Wick, I am fucking back. Let's do this. Watching these long title animes and finishing them. I'm so proud of myself. It's been 2 years since I've been on my grind, on my game. I'm posting anime reaction on social media. I am watching weekly and also talking about it weekly on a show. Man, it's a blessing. It's a new year. We're ending the year strong. Things have been tough, but we're about to end the year strong and start the year strong. To me, is a hitter.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it may be for anybody. It's your boy Crash, aka the Hispanic Assassin, your anime recommender when it comes to looking for those hot, spicy romance animes.
It is a hot, spicy anime. So if this is here for your first time, let me introduce ourselves. As you heard, Legendary Vash and Crash Hispanic Assassin. We are the Off the Binge podcast where we review weekly seasonal anime. Right now, we're reviewing the fall season 2024. So that means for next year, we're entering the 2025 winter season. We've already been hearing
Sir.
announcement from Jump Festa. So if you want to hear news coverage from Jump Festa, check out the Anime Lately podcast for this week episode that's coming out the day after Christmas, I believe, the December 26th. So stay tuned for that episode because that'll be the Jump Festa coverage. On this day, we're recording on a Saturday. So we're this video is being premiered on this Monday morning. If you're checking out on this Monday afternoon, we appreciate it. Thank you. We're here to cover the season of anime, but we also cover animation like we do on the anime podcast or other coverages that we do, like manga that's coming back with Shona Ronin next year, next month in January. And we also cover webtoons and wrestling, as you can check out for Weebs of the Ring. So we have a bit of everything type of content that you're looking forward for. And check out the new year. This brand, this company will be having a website. I heard the news
Yes.
of. So definitely stay tuned for that. So with all the plugs, with all the things out of the way, talking about the last plug, go check out the social media because as your boy Legendary Vash reacted to Danadan and Dragon Ball Daima, the most recent episode, he also probably by then he already posted Tower of God episode. Maybe any other social media's post will be coming up. So check our TikTok, our IG of Anima We3 Studio. So go check this out. So without further ado, let's jump to our 3 segments that we are getting today. We're getting what are we binging, episode of the week, and rapid fire ranking of the week of what is our finalist that's almost coming to an end of our ranking of the fall season. And lastly, our down and down overall review. So we're about to have a long show, quick show. So without further ado, let's jump to it of what are we binging. Look, if you have jumped into the first episode, what are we binging? It's outside of our weekly animes of what we're talking about of the weekly fall season. For this, what are we binging is outside of it. Vash, your boy here, he has done shit. He has done nada. He has not done no homework outside of the fall season. So on this segment, I don't got shit to say. I've been binging other stuff that's not anime related, but you can hear that conversation on the Anime Daily podcast on Weeb's Lounge. But when it comes to anime related, he has not been doing his homework. My apologies. But Crash, I want to ask you, have you been binging anything? Because on the document, I see something, 3 words. It's a surprise for Vash in quotation again. So let's hear it. What is the surprise that you got for us?
Well, seeing it as being week 12, it's pretty much been a lot of shows ending for the most part. I have been able to catch up on 2 shows while finishing the rest of my animes. One of them is Ranking of Kings season 1. I have been able to catch up on maybe like 2 episodes. I plan to finish that by the end of the year, if not getting to first week of the winter 2025 anime season. But the second anime that I was trying to mention that I want to keep a surprise, I can now officially say 110% I have caught up with Dragon Ball Daima. I am even at the week 13 episode. I'm a episode ahead, but I am 110% up to date with everything on Dragon Ball Daima. We can now talk about it. I know it's something you've been very, very excitingly waiting for. So definitely we can speak on this when you come in with your takes. Um, Overall, the show is an 8 out of 10. It's more lore than anything.
Exactly.
Um,
It's so lore heavy, super lore heavy. It's amazing for any Dragon Ball fan that you are that Dragon Ball Daima has been a fixer is what we'll call it, like fixes and adds lore to the gaps of the mythology of Dragon Ball that never been yet.
it does fill in a lot of gaps for a lot of questions that people may have asked in the past. I would say somebody who has been around with Dragon Ball for such a long time that I personally never asked those questions, but I feel like it's nice to know now more than anything, especially since we haven't gotten anything since Super. So I'm curious to see where the direction of the story goes, how it ends. The fights have been okay for the most part. Um, Not to spoil, I have been a little disappointed with some of the villains so far, but like I said before in previous episodes in the podcast, Toriyama and Cook. I want to give it a chance. I don't want to judge it too harshly just yet. I'm gonna see where it goes for now, but I'm heavily invested in it. I'm not gonna not look away from episodes not going forward now that especially that I'm up to date. But definitely to 8 out of 10. I'm intrigued with it so far.
We probably will be getting something more in the future because right now, from what I heard, that Dragon Ball Daima should be finishing by the start of the spring season, meaning April. So that means we have a maybe another 12 episodes of Dragon Ball Daima. So I assume 24 episodes, and that depending if they wrap it within one season, two course, or if they might have a season two. So I'm really curious about that. That's a current rumor I've seen floating around that we will be getting in April the end, because Dragon Ball Super, the manga, I heard the rumors this past week as well that it will be returning in April because they're already planning their next arc.
Okay, okay. So Dragon Ball in the works,
Exactly.
roughly.
Dragon Ball works roughly, so we're good on that. So I know since you watch Dragon Ball Daima, we could save our conversation more further once we get into the week episode of what happened in episode 11, Legend. So I can't wait. I kept laughing when I kept reading the title Legend. I'm like, it reminds me of my name. It's like Legendy Vash. I'm like, Legend, yes, Legend, me.
Um, what I will say throughout the whole show, lastly, I'm very, very, very intrigued with Glorio and his past. I know his affiliation. I kind of understand like what he means to the story with Goku and everybody. But I'm just curious to know like his story, like it being in the third part of the demon world, now getting to the first part, like how did he get there, his family. What I'm just curious about him as a character overall.
Yeah,
Like what?
he's so interesting, but I love laugh when Goku always gets his name wrong. And he always corrects it
Yeah.
like Glorio, Glorio, and Goku like okay, Jirio. It's like, and Gloria always just sighs like this dude.
Like you're just fucking with me now, aren't you? Like you know what my
Exactly,
name is. Stop playing with
exactly.
me.
But that's the stereotype, the stigma of these MCs that are powerful and they're slightly act dumb. Like, cause our character Monkey D. Luffy, he always does this too. He always gets these characters' name wrong, and he always puts like a little joke, like a jokey name around them. So it just makes sense to that. Like, there's always a stigma, stereotype of the type of character that has the character traits.
No, yeah, but I'm glad. I'm happy to say that I'm up to date. I know you were holding me to it, saying, "Oh, I hope you get to it," and I lied
Chat,
before the podcast started saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm
exactly.
sorry."
I was about to bring it up, Chad. Literally, right before me and him started, we were having our behind the scenes conversation, getting the show ready. And I asked him, like, hey, by the way, quick question. Did he catch you to Daima? He's like, ah, damn, man, I didn't get shit to it. My fault. Yo, the sand is like, damn, I really wanted to talk about it. All right, cool, I guess. And then now hearing it, like, oh, this is how, oh, so we could geek out by episode 11, the stuff that I wrote down and everything. It's not just me talking about it. So, Chad, Dragon Ball Daima will be talking about on rapid fire. So I love it. So it'll be a quick conversation about it. And I can't wait for us to have the flow about Dragon Ball Daima and the fucking cool, the do. Fucking bullshit ass fucking names.
We're gonna
Fucking.
get to that. I know what you're saying. I know what you're gonna say about that. We're gonna get to that.
Oh, but other than that, Chad, so you heard our binging. Now that we heard that it is one of the weekly episodes of the season, so let's Can't wait to talk about it. But now that we heard about the weekly episode, now let's talk about the episode of the week. Because we're currently binging stuff. We're currently binging stuff on the weekly. So now the conversation is, what is the episode of week 12 that resonated to us out of this week? No matter if it's number 1 or number 8 or number 14. If it's number 14 of your list, chat, I will really question you, because how the fuck is it number 14 your episode of the week, but then you have numbers 1 through 13 as a higher rank? I will question ya. But
God.
my question is to you, chat, because since Crash went go first, I'm gonna go first in this conversation, because my episode of the week, I'll tell you, chat, as a spoiler for the ranking, this is number 4. This is number 4, and it is Serie Gensoki Spirit Chronicles Season 2 as my episode of the week. And look, was it the actual episode of the week as number, like, rating number 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10? No. But the reason that it was number, sorry, not number, episode of the week for me is because this MC gave no fuck of murdering the guy that murdered his mom in front of the princess. I'm gonna just tell you straight up. This is like full hype spoiler, but non-spoiler vague to not tell the audience of too much what happened. But
We
this,
should say, at the very least, going forward, now that we're in week 12, major spoilers
yeah,
going
just be
forward.
aware. Like, if you
Yeah.
want, guys, each time code will be on the show in the description, so don't worry, you could jump into it. But I'm gonna tell you, chat, this man was like, oh, I love the way our MC Rio was being honest to the guy that he was willing to murder, because this man gave no fuck. Imagine you're John Wick, but don't tell you his to the point you're about to kill. Yeah, my name is not the boogeyman, is not the Baba Yaga. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna tell you who I am. And the opponent you're fighting is like, nah, I want to know who you are. And the opponent keeps saying, nah, I'm not going to tell you. And then the guy you're fighting, nah, you got to tell me. I'm more interested. So it just kept going back and forth. And the guy was on a like cloud 9 saying, nah, I'm not going to tell you who I am. And then so smart that the opponent was like, fuck, you got me interested. I want to know who you are. So question, if I let the princess go, would you tell me who you are? Yo, the way what this bad guy said is like, my guy, you're literally falling for the trap. You're literally falling for the trap. He's not telling you this, so you are aware that he is trying to make you focus on him, not the princess. And you literally said, hey, if I give up the princess, will you tell me your identity? Because you got me interested to the fight. He's such a battle junkie. This bad guy is such a battle junkie. And he got his karma for him. And I can't wait to tell you, he got his karma for him so fucking good. Because Rio was playing with him, my G. Rio was playing with him. He was playing with him like he is some type of chicken tenders, like fodder. Like, you are an appetizer to me. He gave him no, like, Rio gave him no work. He literally was wasting no seconds. By the time he gave up the princess and told the princess, all right, you stay in the middle. It's kind of like a gym battle. Like, both opponents here, like in each corner. And then the princess was like right here in the middle, just watching both. And
Mhm.
the princess found out that this is real. The same guy that saved her twice back in the past 12, 15 years. So girl found out that, oh shit, that's the guy that's been gone for the past 2 years, and he's the guy that actually saved my life for 2 times now, and I thought he was dead. And no wonder they have the same, same skill set, and they have the same type of fighting style. So that's what she figured out. And I love how she felt like a damsel distress, but she wasn't. She got let go. Girl didn't scream. And I love how she found out the guy that she has a crush on and felt like her life was in depth twice now. She didn't scream. She analyzed, observed, and she was like, okay, that's real. Okay, that's the guy that murdered. Wait, he's a prince from a different country. So she found out all this information, very exposition stuff, but she didn't react. She kept observing, and the camera or the anime kept panning back to her, showing her facial expression, showing how much all this type of info that was like a lot for her, like, oh shit. But I love how she didn't scream. Maybe it could be her princess knowledge and her, coping and having good emotional intelligence in this type of moment. But it was well done, that I really appreciate as a fan. That, like, girl's gonna start screaming and then distracting the hero. I'm like, bitch, what you doing? Stop it, don't do this. So I was very happy about this. That's one thing. Two, once the main bad guy once the main bad guy let go of the princess and he let her go, and then once he found out, hey, so I'm real, the guy that you let go when you kill the mother of mine, and the bad guy's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're alive. I was waiting for this. I wanted to let you live because you could come back and bite me, and I love this. Look at you growing. Look at you." And this, I tried to fix the video real quick, but you're gone now. Where was I?
So
Oh
you're
yes,
talking the bad guy.
yeah, the main bad guy. This guy had the balls and say, "Hey, I'm interested that you're alive because now you come back and bite me and do what you gotta do." He got ready. He like, all right, cool, let's start fighting. He got his flame sword ready. By the second he took his stance, this MC real literally did a flash step from Bleach, like a flash step, just quickly. He cut off his left arm, bleeding, cut in a flash second. I'm like, thank you, real. Do this, my guy. I love it. I love it that you did this. Well deserved to the bad guy because he kept talking all this shit. This red hair motherfucker, there's a battle junkie, talk all this shit. But Rio was playing with his food a bit, which is understandable. Which is understandable. You want to take revenge to your guy that murdered your mom. Understandable. You want to take this, and also I love it that he was willing to murder him in front of the princess. It's like, damn, you have the balls to still do this murder, and I go, fuck. But of course, makes sense. But the one thing is, he played this with his food for too long. You know why? Because his fucking battle junkie got saved by his little magician guy that works for the other country, but then is a spy for their country. But thank you that the guy Rio, our MC, heard that, heard his name when he called him. Now, by episode 12, my theory is that he's going to let the kingdom know, like, hey, the guy that has you in this kingdom, he's working for the opposing kingdom. And now I assume I'm so happy because there has to be a season 3 because now the battle junk is alive, so we know that, and he was gonna stay alive because even the magician said like, "Hey, we can start fighting still if you want to kill this guy, but you got princess to worry about, so you could save her, get her back to the kingdom, or you could kill this guy." And the MC did the rightful thing. He said, "Yo, you're right. I'm gonna save this chick. I'm gonna do what she gotta do," and that episode ended. So this is why, chat, this is my episode of the week because it was perfectly aligned to my emotion to this episode, and I did binge both seasons of season 1 and season 2, the 10 episodes. So I got to see the story fast paced and the twists and turns, and I know that the story is not gonna wrap up in one episode because we still got a story to tell with his other high school students, other people disappear, and he still needs to see the other heroes, and this is only one episode left out of 12. So I know not much is gonna change. So by the time you guys see this recording, episode 12 I think comes out on Sunday or Monday. So by the time you guys see this recording on that Monday morning, I will already have seen episode 12. Then I will see where it fits, and you guys will see a social media reaction because I know I'm ready for that. See, I need to see what the fuck how that shit ends. But yeah, so that's my episode of the week. Seeing our MC murder for revenge.
I honestly, I usually have some kind of comment to say, about like your favorite episode. For once, you actually answered all the questions I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, wait, is that the last episode? No, it's second to last. Where's the story gonna go from there? You answered. It can literally go now that you know this guy who got his arm cut off, the red haired guy who loves battle. He's still alive. The princess is still there. The MC has to figure out now what to do. There's still stuff happening. So you said it perfectly too. It can't end just like that. There has to be season 3. Um, but really, mhm.
And plus, I'm going to add one thing is that finding out the end of episode 11, a dragon throws the biggest flamethrower to the MC and the princess. So that is, I totally forgot that in the ending, I mean, in the season 1, the bad guy with the purple hair magician, he stole like 100 dragon eggs. So I know now it's like, oh, it's been a couple years. This motherfucker just grew a 100 egg dragon army. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, that's one dragon that's throwing a flamethrower. Wait, oh fuck. He probably got like 99 problems of more dragons. So it's like, shit, we're about to get fucked up by dragons. But that's me theorizing. I don't know how the next episode's gonna be, or we know for sure season 3 is. But in my head, I just realized this other opposing kingdom or other opposing enemy has a good amount of dragons as weapons, and the kingdom of people don't know that he robbed 100 dragon eggs. And by the way, I'm guessing the numbers. All I know is that I remember in the panel shot, it was like it was like a pyramid scheme type of your dragon eggs. It should show
Yeah.
like in a camera angle where it should show like layers and layers of eggs. So all I know is that he robbed that many. So even if he has 50 100 dragons, in any type of folklore or lore, dragons are like gods. So if you got a good amount of eggs, whatever kingdom or country you're in, you're fuck. So I hope this
You're
MC is
OP
ready.
now.
Exactly. So I hope the MC and also the heroes could merge together, gain forces, and fight these dragons because they're fuck.
I personally feel like just based on what you're telling me, I think it's too soon to say because the ending of season 2 could change dramatically in any way possible. However, for the benefit of a doubt, for the sake of content, just based off what you've seen alone with this show for season 2, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst thing you've ever seen and 10 being the best thing, what would you rate the show so far? Not
So
knowing that you've not watched the end.
so far, I have it as a 9 on this episode. As a overall, I believe I have
7.5, I want to guess.
I
Maybe an
have it
8.
as an 8. I have it as an
Oh,
8 for
wow.
this episode. So I have it as an 8. Season 1, I think I gave it a 7 or 7.5. I gave season 1 a 7. Yeah, so I gave season 1 a 7. So far, season 2 is a solid 8. And it looks like I'm right because for the average score on Analyst, it's a 7 for season 1. And for season 2, currently it, it has a 7 as well on Analyst for season 2. So it looks like, some people are in between. But for me right now, I'm a solid 8. We just got to see how episode 12 ends.
Like I said, like I feel like you can't judge a book so quickly, right? Especially when you're right there to the end. That's why I'm saying, like, for benefit of doubt, I trust everything you've said so far about this, and I've been hearing good things about the show, the anime overall, on social media, on pretty much some Discord servers. So I know this show is getting traction, is being talked about. The big question is, does the story end there after season 2,
Oh no,
and if we come more season?
we for sure get season 3. I know that for sure. This is a popular anime, so I know for sure we're getting a season 3 down the line.
No, for sure. I just hope it's sooner than later. Something like, oh, done to done. We're gonna wait 2 fucking seasons. Thanks, creators. But whatever it is,
Yo,
what it is.
you are waiting till
Waiting
July.
two, you are spoiled.
You're
Waiting
spoiled.
two seasons is good.
I'm about to say you are spoiled as like 2 seasons. We're in April. Shit,
We waited 4 years for another season to ReZero. Okay.
Still waiting on that high school of the dead remake or season 2 potentially.
we
Still
got
waiting on that.
Tokyo Ghoul remake announcement. So trust me, we could wait. They are working on a lot of things.
And where's Steins Gate remake too? Like, I look, a lot of good animes are coming out right now for 2025. And again, this is something we will talk about potentially, when we talk about our list for the winter season. But this 2025 is cooking with a lot, and I mean a lot of very good anime. We're starting off the year strong, so I can't wait to tell you guys a lot more about that. But like I told Watkins when we were giving our review about the Superman trailer, I'm a very patient man when it comes to certain things.
Interesting. You're
Um,
patient, man, when it comes to certain things, but can't wait 2 seasons when there's 20 animes that comes every season that you can't wait for down season 2. But hey, what I can't wait for, Crash, is to hear your pick of the week. What's your episode of the week of this week
Wait,
12?
before that, I just, God's got a little question for you.
Go ahead.
So I heard you, Crash. I heard you just say something that, striked me as a little odd.
mhm,
You
mhm.
said you can't really judge something by its cover. You can't judge it without giving it a shot. Isn't there a whole segment in this podcast where you look at things and you go, "Oh wait, that's community rated under 6. Oh, it's gonna be garbage."
Uh, uh,
That's
uh,
crazy. The hypocrisy.
uh, I plead the fifth on that statement,
Interesting.
Lord. I plead the fifth on
So
that.
we will come back to that question. It seems like it. So, what's your episode of the week then? Since you have to play the fifth for now.
Uh, for sure. So, um, I could not wait to talk about this. Um, Again, this week was very torn. At one point, and then I saw Don and I was like, oh no.
I knew it.
Dan's gonna be second place for me. My top episode all time for week 12 is Blue Box. Um, there's three things to basically explain about the story, but the main point I want to address to you, gentlemen, is I was fucking right with my theory, and I fucking love it when I'm right. And the fact that it was just shown that in my face in the first 30 seconds of the episode, I literally topped the whole episode, got off my seat, and started just like, praying to God. I was like, thank you so much for proving me right. I just
Nah.
love it. I mean, me personally, as in IRL, I just love it. When you confess to a girl, the girl just says that she doesn't love you. Okay, cool. So you're doing your own thing. Then another girl comes into your life, and she confesses to you. So you're like, okay, we could try it out. We could try dating. And the first girl that you confess to sees that you're dating the second girl, and now she's jealous of the fact that you are now with somebody else and not with this person. That fucking like that make that feel something in my heart. I don't know what it is. It could be toxicity. It could be just something with love or whatever. But I just love seeing that shit overall, especially when it comes to anime, and we see that with Teresa. The fact that she saw Taiki with Hina, walking down in the festival, and she felt something. I was just like, I fucking knew it. You knew deep down inside that you love this man. You have some kind of feeling for this man, and you just don't know how to express it, which is okay. But now you about to lose him to Hina, because Hina right now is about to work her ass off to make sure that Taiki falls in love with him. That was my whole thing overall for the episode. So for the three things, real quick, you have Hina trying to work her magic, dressed up, in a yuka. What was the outfit that she was wearing, Vash? I always say butcher the name. I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking
Yukata.
about. Yukata. Thank you. She was doing her best dressing up, like as a woman, girl, more like feminine as opposed to what she was wearing when she was younger in middle school. And you see her really confessing her feelings. You don't see it on the screen because she was talking to one of her classmates that we've seen in the previous episode. This guy, I don't remember his name, but he was trying to. We know that he likes Hina, and pretty much he was trying to slide in the DMs, sit with her with the guys and everything. Like, hey, like
Yo,
you want to sit down too?
I was laughing because I felt bad because I know his guy friends who were supporting him. Like, yo, bro, just ask,
Yeah,
girl might
yeah,
lay
yeah.
him, through. I
And
wish
we've been in that situation. We know guys who've been in that
exactly.
situation. Like we're trying to hype up your boy. Like we know it's gonna fail, but we want you to experience it
Exactly.
because
It
So
doesn't hurt to ask because you never know. The girl could be like, yeah, let's sit together. Yeah, let's enjoy it together. You have the chance. And you, as your guy friends, will be the wingman. Like, yeah, man, we got you. We support you. What I wonder, though, is that if they cut it off in the anime when she declined them, because in the manga, I wonder if that happened. Because in the anime, they just show it off screen that,
yeah.
she denied them, which is something that I like that it doesn't have to be shown. Is very vaguely. But I wonder if in the manga they show, because I would love to read that, like how she denied them or how they reacted. That would be interesting. And I love it how they didn't show it. Another reason is because it feels very college vibe, or it feels like they're treating it like they're in high school, but they're acting like adults a bit, if that makes sense.
No. That's exactly what I love the episode. Like it's not the mystery. It's just it doesn't need to be said right now, and it's so perfect because you need to remember we're still halfway done now with the season, going on to episode 13. You know, like we know Hina loves Taiki. It's without a fact, but it's just not verbally said to him. So the fact now she has to say something to this, classmate of hers, either confessing that yeah, I do like Taiki, we're on a date, or yeah, no, we're not nothing. You can sit with me. But she now has to confront her feelings. She has to be real with herself and
Yeah.
with this other guy that likes her too, saying like, yeah, no, like I'm doing something with this boy. You need to fuck off on God. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like I personally like that, and I like the quietness of it. If it's set in the manga, cool, bet. It's just not shown in the anime, and I'm fine with that regardless. But I just like seeing those kind of tropes in anime. It makes it very spicy. It
It
makes it very
does.
interesting. I live for seeing moments like that, honestly, and it builds a lot of character development,
And
especially with Hina. It's a girl that I'm rooting for.
and plus, if I may add, it also gives it that where we're watching high school students, but it doesn't feel too kiddish that they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Like Taiki, he does piss me off as a character, but not because I don't like him. Is how he, as a character, doesn't know how to deal with emotions. But it's because he's in high school, and he also don't understand that his best friend that's right there with him is seeing this as a date, and but he's noticing it slow. But it shows that he's that type of generic boy guy that is stubborn but also is clueless. Where you can have your best friend like you, but you don't realize it until you say those certain things. Where he commented, "Hey, you're cute. Your hair it looks really well done. It shows the effort and work you did it. And she smiles throughout the whole time. She wasn't smiling, and he noticed that, hey, is there something wrong? But he never said that. But then once he said, hey, that's cute, and her mood changed, her smile, and he noticed that. I was like, thank the God, my dude, you've been just what's the word, like stuck in the wall? No, so
Head in the
blind.
clouds.
Head in the clouds, yeah, like your head in the clouds, and he finally noticed that, like, oh, she likes it when I call her cute. I'm like, yeah, start pitching it together, my guy. You're almost there. Start putting it together. You're almost there. She likes me. Yes, you're almost there. So I love that. But the two things I would say for me that pissed me off in this, no, one thing that pissed me off in this episode, and one thing I love. The love is Haru's girlfriend. She is adorable. Her reaction is
Yeah.
an introduction to her as a character, and the way she knew how to read the room. But it shows because she's older. I believe she's supposed to be 18 or 17, like in the show, I believe. And
17, she's the senpai of,
Yeah.
I think both of them pretty much.
yeah, that's why, like I'm saying, like I believe she's 17 or 18, because I forgot if they're the same year or a year older, because I believe they're because I believe they're best friends or something. But when it comes to Haru's girlfriend, I love her because the way she knew, oh, you're that Taiki, and Taiki assumed, oh, what was Haru talking about me? Like, nah, you're misconcepting that Haru's talking about you. You're not forgetting the girl that's next to her, and he didn't put two and two together because Chinatsu noticed, like, don't, you don't want, no. So I just love that personality, that she knew how to read the room, and like, Haru said that you this and this, and I love how you Taki knows, like, damn, you lying as hell. That shit's obvious, but hey, I'm gonna be whatever. So that's my one thing I love. The second thing that I hated, my dude taking. Why did you have to help the little girl that Chinatsu was helping that got lost? You did not have to help. I understand that you was a man, you was a gentleman, you want to help there, and the girl you like, just your brain turned off. It said that, hey, you're out with your friend. Oh no, the girl I like is here. Turn off brain. Can I help you in anything, baby? Can I, like, the whole body language changed, and he just forgot about HINA. And then by the end, like, oh my God, HINA's probably waiting for me. I was like, yes, bitch, you should have left like an hour ago. But I understand, character wise, he saw the girl he likes. He has a crush on her. His whole body language was like, hey, I'm gonna stay where I am here because the girl like needs help because she just found a lost girl, which it made them closer, and also made Chinatsu and question her identity, like, do I like him or not? This feels like a nice date, and she felt lied to. So this kind of made their dynamic more kind of difficult for Chinatsu, which is great. But it's just like, Taiki, you're an idiot.
It's funny. I'm glad you bring that up because that was going to be my second part, but I'm glad you brought it up regardless. Sorry. What I feel was really important was Taiki's character shown as a character, like a big brother, you could say, because he's very good with kids. So that's
Yes.
what's showing the viewers to us, like, hey, like, like, he's not just a guy who likes sports. He's also a sweet personality kind of guy who, does other things besides play sports. Like, is good with children. Sometimes it's hard to study with classmates, that, et cetera, et cetera. So it was just giving like a little like example. But I also want to bring up to, like, in the Japan culture, if there's a lost kid, you're going to see that trope, of, the MC and maybe the love interest, or just like a group of people helping out finding the family of the lost children. You know what I mean? So I didn't feel like it was anything bad. I didn't even think it was stupid because the point of it was really to show, like, this awkward tension between Taiki and Chirisu that has been happening for the last
Yeah.
episode or two.
Agree.
And it for me inside it was like showing, like, yes, this bitch Shinisu finally is seeing, like, oh fuck, like she might potentially lose Taiki to HINA, so this is her only shot of potentially shooting her shot with Taiki, if anything.
But it's her fault. She's the one that never noticed it. Like, hey, do I accept my feelings? And then we get the fucking flashback at the end of the episode with, like, where a girl was out with Howell's girlfriend in a coffee shop, and they're just talking like, yeah, I'm living with a first boy year, and then Howell's girlfriend like, do you see a future with him? And then we just end off the flashback in the most fucking blue balls way. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm like, bitch, what? Really? Really? And then you're gonna literally talk to him while he's sleeping, like a stalker,
Oh wait,
just
wait,
literally.
wait. I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that, but yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I
It's
was
like
gonna get to that. So,
I kind of wanted to fight her at that moment. It's like, Chinatsu, what's wrong with you, girl? Speak your
and
emotions, speak your mind. I was
and
like,
that's
girl,
why I fucking
speak.
love the episode. And that's why I fucking love the episode. That's why Hina is winning and Shinisu is not winning. And that's what I was saying all this time. And I called it. This theory of mine was correct. This girl does not know how to express her emotions. She was wrong. She does love Taiki, but who does she, like when you really with this show, right? And mind you, this is again an anime that I not originally liked. When you look down into this anime, this is a girl who likes two things: basketball and this new guy that came into her life, Taiki.
It's the love of the game. People love sports and people don't understand that at times. Like people love anime, people love something. Like people would defend a series. People would defend a fucking sport like it's a life dependent. People will wear a jersey, the color, face paint, and everything. We have seen that. So that's 100% you're saying. It's true.
Yeah.
That it's like
Eh,
you have to choose between the game or your lover. And that's
no,
hard when you're in high
that
school as well, when you understand your own emotions.
that's not what that's actually the opposite of what I'm saying. What I'm saying specifically in this anime, you can have both. There's nothing wrong with you having a boyfriend, girlfriend, and playing a sport in school. There's not a problem with it. The problem, what's gonna I see happening for sure, and what is a general trope, is balancing the two, especially when you have a lot of stake. With Chinatsu going to nationals, with Hina going also to nationals with gymnastics, with Taiki trying to get to nationals to play at a professional level, to prove himself that he loves his sport of badminton. You can't have both. It's possible. You can date somebody and play your best, but what happens when you guys hit your bumpy roads, and argue and cause to, kind of like mess up your vibe when you're in a good streak playing your sport. A perfect example of this is challengers. I've spoken about this, before in the previous episodes. The thing with challengers is that the girl who played in Zendaya and the other guy, they had a moment where they were dating, about to have sex, and long story short, they got into argument because one tried to be dominant and the other didn't like that, and because of that, the character that Zendaya played broke her whole knee and could not play tennis ever again. Things like that can happen,
Oh yeah.
in relationships.
In anime it's kind of tough for this, and this is not like a shonen type. This is like a regular human people that you can't break your knee and then you just have a home type of magician, fix your elbow or fix your knee, so you can't really get that. It's just that this also being a high school setting is more like, even Haru's girlfriend said, you better not lose your focus in
Yes,
badminton.
yes,
And
I
that's
was gonna say that too.
and that
Yes.
one line showed kind of like, it was like the author reminding us that this is not just a love story. This is a love story about the game of badminton and basketball. Like, you as a high school student, me, I was not good at this. I will be honest. I fuck up in high school. I was not good at the balancing of the sport of handball and soccer and track, balancing schoolwork and balancing, and also balancing personal life. I was not good at that. I lost relationships, I lost friendships, and me losing games because I couldn't focus. That's a hard thing, and it all falls down to the parents, to the coaches, and to yourself. How can you balance that correctly? And when Chinatsu, when our boy Taiki is a guy who crushes. Girl, we have crushes. Those are all normal. But the part is, how can you balance a young love when us parents, or us, us in the future, we become future parents? The same thing, like we got told by our parents, hey, don't fall in love with high school. It's the same thing I would tell my kids too, because it's understandable. As a kid, you'd be like, hey, I'm gonna just like who I like. It happens. But then when you grow up, you understand, like, shit, I probably should have focused more in school. I probably should have done more in my sport. Because those are things that you kind of regret. So I understand where Shinatsu, she's kind of second guessing Taiki. And I like that they're showing that real emotion or type of like real setting of any character or person could relate in real life when it comes to loving somebody in this type of same scenario.
No, and it's perfect. You said, like, you bring up that school aspect, like, you shouldn't do certain things when you're at this age. The time aspect is also important too, because I don't know if the kids realize it either, that they only have a certain amount of time before they graduate. Taiki knows this more than anything that Chinisu is about to graduate and leave. In about a year, because she's her senpai. Yeah, he's her senpai.
Yeah, because she's a
She
sophomore, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
and
a
then
freshman.
yeah, he's a freshman, so she has one more year to be a senior, and then he has 2 more years sophomore than after the senior. So like they're around the corner. But also it's like I hate it that in anime or in storytelling they kind of make it seem like once you graduate it's the end of the world. It's like nah, y'all still could be friends once you graduate and still try to have a relationship. So it's like it like take it like oh she graduates and she's gonna leave my life. Like no, y'all could still become a life together after.
You guys have not seen pseudo harem because definitely they were still dating after the fact, and you can date somebody outside of your school, even in college. It becomes a
Do you
problem
know?
with
Do you know what they
age.
did in pseudo harem though? They both
So
took time. They both took like 10 years of not dating until they achieved their dreams, and then they got together and got married. That's what they did in pseudo harem. So no, if you're talking about anime, for some reason they think that if you're focusing on your dreams, you can't date other people.
Oh no. Yes, you're
Yes,
right. But
God.
I referred
Yes.
to yes, God, you're 100%. I was referred to like the episode where like he graduated and then like oh we will be able to see each other, but then they see each other right after school and stuff like you can't meet up with your significant other after you graduate from school. It definitely can't happen. Is it appealing to the audience? That's really up to the creators in general.
And the
But
storytelling, like that's what matters. But that's why I like one of my favorite story, like Kaguya-sama Love is War. They are balancing the
oh
story very well from high school to college. I'm not sure if it's still going on or not, but I
yeah, it is.
know
It is.
exactly. So I know that the story was going on in the aspect when it comes to storytelling. So if Blue Box, right now Blue Box is at 146 chapters, I believe. So for it to still go on and continue, like it means the creator has a good rom-com going on. Like they're still lasting, they're still writing. I don't know if a year time skip has happened or changed yet. I don't know. So for it to continue going to me, like for one core alone, for Blue Box alone, 9 out of 10, straight up. Like core one only, 12 episodes from the top of my head. 9 out of 10. It was solid. It gives a story. But can we be right before a question? Right before we end, I also want us to talk when she spoke to Taiki at the fucking second floor.
You want to speak about that at the end?
Yes, because that's the last thing we got to remain about talking about. Because I think we already spoken enough about the episode and little side tangents. Other than that, did we miss anything other than that last
No.
part?
I do want to speak on that, but you know what? I got you. I definitely want to move on. I could definitely hold off for it for sure.
But yeah, no, like my score is literally like core one itself, 9 out of 10. Like like great solid episode, but it just leaves me more like you should have spoken. Why are you speaking to a guy that's sleeping? Let him sleep in peace. It's kind of like let us men sleep in peace. When we're awake, bother us. At this moment, you could have waited for this conversation. Instead, I thought it was gonna be one of those type of anime tropes where he was not sleeping and he was paid attention the whole time.
No. I was so upset. Like from the very beginning when I saw 30 seconds, she was like, they're together, and at the very end, she's like upset, like you shouldn't have lied to me. I'm just like, so
Girl,
then why the fuck don't you confess? Now
he
you gotta
never lied in
lose
the first
him.
place. And like she's telling herself lies. She's assuming. And I'm like, it pissed me off. It's like, wait, why you think he lied to you? Wait, why are you telling your own stuff, your own stories that never happened? Bitch, what? Like that shit pissed me off because it reminds me of real life. It's like, wait, what? I mean like I'm gonna stay quiet. Nope.
That was look overall at the end of the day, that was probably one of the best episodes so far from Blue Box. I was very
Yes.
happy to see that. I'm happy to see my theory was right. It just goes to show, like, at the end of the day, when it comes to romance shit, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not bullshitting you guys. Like, when I see something and I know it's about to happen, I call it out. And sometimes I make it wrong, but lately my shit has been on point, and that's why I tell everybody, trust me when I tell you, I knew this bitch was lying to everybody. I knew it, and now it's shown. The question now remains: what is she gonna do about it? Is she just gonna watch from the sidelines now and let this continue to happen? Is she gonna finally like uh, um realize her feelings and try to make a move? Is Taiki gonna fucking wake up and realize, hey, you got potentially two girls who like you, you better choose one? Really anything.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't have, if you ask me, I don't have any theories. it's hard to say where the story will go. And I'm a non-manga reader, so right now I'm enjoying the ride. I like to see the next episode to kind of speculate easier. It's kind of hard to give a theory of where it could go when I don't even know where I want it to go, because it's most like I kind of mad at Chinatsu. It's like, you should have spoken. Now you have assumptions that are not even close to it being right, but you are here walking down these stairs like you're sad as hell when it's not even his fault. It's your fault. You're the one here that's making it look bad, ma'am. But okay, we're walking out.
I will say I was so happy, and it's so fucked up of me as a person, but I don't give a shit. I was so happy when she was walking, like at the end of the festival, when Taiki was running back to Hina to start the fireworks thing. When Chirasu was walking back towards the girls, and everyone's like, "Why are you so sad?" And she's like, "What? I am sad? Yes, bitch, you're fucking sad because you want to spend time with Taiki. You want to watch the fireworks with him, but no, he ran away. You're like, no, we gotta go. I have my friends. No, you should have fucking told him. That's way fiber. If I swear to you, Vash, I swear to God, if she had said, can we just watch it for 5 minutes and then we go away? I would have been like, oh, you know what? I would have let that. I would have been a little more like, okay, she's a little more slick.
Same. I would be like, hey, Taki, since we're here, let's watch it for 5 minutes. That would have been nice. A good line. Where Taki would be like, wait, I'm a bit confused. But then he'll be upset because, like, girl, you send me mixed signals. You want to watch it together, or you don't want to watch it together?
You don't exactly.
It's kind of like the flower. You like me. She likes me now. You like me. She likes me now. You like me.
No, this is a very interesting episode to say the least.
Agree.
But my top of all time for week 12.
Chad, this was my. Chad, I tell you, Blue Box was my number 3. Blue Box was number 3 in the ranking.
We're not that far off. Honestly, it's still high up there. That's really good.
Yeah. Hey, top 4. My episode of the week was number 4 in my ranking of the Spirit Chronicles, and Blue Box was number 3. I feel like that's solid. So, if you like Blue Box, if you like Spirit Chronicles, and you saw the time codes for that, the next thing that we're on this time code is Dragon Ball Daima for Rapid Fire, and we're gonna have fun because this is the episode talking about the legend. This is the story of having regrouped with Vegeta and the others. Goku and his companions arrive at the planet that seems familiar. As they move to head out, a suspicious shadow approaches as a legendary Namek who remain alone in the demon realm. We got the
Navi.
Yeah, Navi, and gives the story the lore of saying, hey, Piccolo, I know your people. But then Piccolo says, like, yo, I don't know how to speak Namekian. I forgot the language, even though in the manga, he spoke with Kami like a good 19 years ago, 20 years ago, when I saw something on my timeline. Something like, Piccolo, I guess you forgot the language, or since you're a baby, you forget your memories. Who knows? And we get the introduction of Majin Du. It reminds me of like Majin Ass. And then we get Vegeta eaten by the Kraken. So I'm going to pass it first to you, Crash, in this rapid fire. What did you think of seeing this binge, now that we have our spoiler section, and seeing the Vegeta finally get his moment to shine, and instead of winning first goal like Goku did, he gets sidetracked and gets eaten by a Kraken?
So I had to set off this with a little bit of bad news. Real talk. Technically, we're supposed to be on episode 10 because episode 11 just came out yesterday, whenever, for Daima. We're still doing the review for 10, or you want to keep it going and just push it to what we see right now?
I feel like we should just talk about this one in Legend to get out of the way, because I think next week is episode 12, and I think that's because it's still airing. So we could just talk about episode 12 because it comes out that Friday morning. So I still count that Friday morning as week 12 or week 13, like that Friday morning.
Daima comes out on Fridays or Saturdays?
Friday mornings. It comes out Friday mornings.
Damn, so it just misses the cut by that much. Okay.
So it comes out at Friday myself. To me, I consider from what we spoke about Saturday.
Oh,
until Friday
no. You are right. I am wrong. I'm sorry. So I'm confusing. Okay. No, we're good because it ends Thursday. You're 100% right. 100% right. Okay. Because I'm binging, so I'm like, damn, like, am I missing out?
So no worries.
Okay.
So for you to binge, yes, you're good. But Dragon Ball Daima comes out that Friday morning. So from what we consider for our weekly coverage is from Saturday to Friday. So chat, a friendly reminder for the winter season that's approaching, our coverage, because we will still be putting our episode Monday mornings if we don't stream. So when it comes to coverage wise, we're always talking about animes that comes out from that Saturday morning until Friday that evening. So that is usually our coverage. So if you want us to talk about a certain episode, that is our weekly coverage. So you guys to be aware. So episode 11, our boy Vegeta got eaten by a kraken at the end. If anybody did not see my reaction on the YouTube Shorts, or if anybody did not see on IG or TikTok, my face reaction literally was how it was. That was full blind as hell. This motherfucker got eaten by a kraken, and my face was shocked that we ended the episode like that. I was pissed because I was hyped for Vegeta to finally have a win like this, but no, this motherfucker has to be sidetracked and get eaten by the biggest kraken in the whole planet.
So you going back to the question you asked me originally, like now that I've binged it completely, how do I feel? What's my take and everything of it? So two major things I want to speak on is Navi, the character overall. I feel like he lets more than he lets on with the characters overall. I feel like he may have ulterior motives. I just don't know in what aspect. Is it for himself? Is it just for the Namekians? Being alone in the original planet Namek can take a toll on you. Especially if you're by yourself. He could be senile, straight crazy, and we just don't know it yet.
Oh, he's
But
definitely senile. Did you not see this man dance? Did you not see this man dance and acting senile? Even Piccolo was like, sir, I know you're acting stupid. Can you speed up this process? And he even was like, damn, fuck, damn, you noticed me. Shit.
what I will say, um, the other person I'm very interested in is also the scientist of the Supreme Kai, the big sister. I forgot her name. Um, Dr. Anarisu, I believe her name is called. Um,
Yes.
she, I, I personally would like to learn more about her. Um, I see now she's gonna be the villain overall of
Yeah,
Dynama.
I feel like she has a secret motive as well because she's making this Majin cool version that failed, and then she's making this Majin Do that I don't know if she counts this as a success or not. But then it's like she wants them to get the Demon World Dragon Ball is because she knows that they're getting number two, so she's trying to save up the process so they don't have to come here and fight this, so Girl could save the process, I assume. But it's just very interesting to know like why she wants this when she's also working for the current Demon King Goma, and he doesn't know he doesn't know that this is happening behind his back. It's like, my guy, you like, can you not trust your own people? Like, shit.
It's like the demon world. Everyone just wants to be on top of each other. It's just like everyone wants to be at the top, no one wants to be at the bottom. It's a very toxic hierarchy to say the least, because there's more bad characters in the demon world than good.
It's true to the lore because most type of demon characters in lore is kind of true. There's always there's always survival of the fittest who's deserved to take the demon crown. There's always that type of story when it comes to this type of demon type of lineage. When like if you go to the Bible, when it comes to Samuel, or to the demon Michelangelo, the archangel, like in most stories and Bibles, like there are two brothers that love each other, but at the end of the day, they're all trying to be in the favor of God. So it's like all these type of stories, like when it comes to the demons, even when it comes to our character, they've been switching off each year. We have a fat dude, we have the big dude, Debora, I believe was his name. So it like each of these type of demons have also a reputation. One was like a tyrant, one is a good person. So it seems like there's not a right person, and it's weird that they have one demon king for the whole three demons world and not one for each one, because it seems like they're so far apart, and it's like a process. It's like you got to go through like a toll. For anybody have gone through bridges, they each have to go through a toll to get at the other, go back to this one, a toll to get to the other one. It's like a headache.
Um, the only other person I would mention, so me personally, I don't care of. I don't know if you feel the same way. Digrisu, the Supreme Kai's brother, Shin. I don't really care. I know he's like malicious. He has like bad intents, but I don't really care for him. I just feel like he's just any other like secondhand villain. Like, oh, he's evil. He wanted to just do like he wasn't a good person to begin with, whatever. I don't really like if they were to explain why it is that he stayed behind in the demon world, not join the Supreme Kais, whatever. I don't really care. I guess it's whom he wants a lot of power, from what I can tell. He doesn't really give me a lot of like great. In the beginning, when I first saw it, it was interesting to see him and learn more about. Like, oh, so he's the older brother, but why is he with the demons? And then as time progressed, I was like, oh, you're one of those characters. I can really care less. I'm more interested in the other characters that really are important. Um,
I don't have too many thoughts on him as a character because I feel like we're gonna learn much more later once we get closer. But I do want to know, what do you think about Majin Buu and Ku? Right before we wrap up with this Dragon Ball Daima, is like, what do you think of finally seeing a version of Majin Buu that they got a sample of? We got a blob and a kid.
First off, it was a shame that I wasn't able to catch up last episode, but now that I am, what I will say was it's crazy, crazy, crazy lore that literally the fight with Vegeta and Majin Buu, in Dragon Ball Z, right after Vegeta exploded himself, that we saw pretty much Dr. Honorisu getting like a sample of Majin Buu right after the explosion was
Yeah,
wild. I was like, oh no, this shit would happen? No
exactly.
way.
They're filling the plot holes from their other shows, and I love that. Like, they're filling story lore of what could fit into the Dragon Ball lore, and that's something I appreciate.
I'm like me as a somebody who like has crazy perspectives, has tried to visualize everything. I really try to find a plot hole in there. I'm like, wasn't anybody watching Vegeta like or like anything after that whole thing? And I guess she was just very crafty in that specific point in time where nobody was just watching that point. Um, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I didn't really care for Majin Buu or what was the other one? Majin
Do
Buu and Majin Du? Yeah,
do
Majin. So overall, I think they're annoying. It's whatever for them, right? I don't really care about their origins or genetics, how they use with Cybin seeds. They have the essence of Majin Buu. They have magic of the Majin, whatever. My theory, though, with them is I think in somehow or some way they're going to fuse to become something more stronger than they already are. Because I
agree.
feel like these are two personalities that they can't really work together because they're two different entities. But when mixed together, they could become something stronger. My thing is, will they be stronger than Majin Buu? That is yet to be seen. So that's, I guess, the main fight we're all waiting to see if it's gonna be with Goku, with Vegeta, with both. Who really knows? I just think right now at their current level, they're not powerful enough. I mean, they couldn't beat the Tamagotchis right now, so that's kind of a shame. So I'm just thinking like, damn, like you're throwing all these hands for nothing.
The Blob is just interesting. By the chat, I'm gonna just call him Blob because that's what he reminds me of. He reminds me of Blob from the X-Men. If anybody gets that reference, and I really find him goofy, but this is Akira Toriyama style, so I'm not too shocked when it comes to Boo and I mean Cool and Do. Their style is that type of goofiness and not saying hypocrisy, is that type of wacky, is very Looney Tune style, and that's what it reminded me of when he was fucking
Goofy.
twerking his ass and shaking it, and
Oh
on
yeah.
the fucking Tamagotchi one, and even Tamagotchi was like, "The fuck you're doing?" Like he's just staring at him. Talking about Tamagotchi, Tamagotchi 2. This man had the nerve to tell Vegeta, "Go home, kid. Go home and suck your mama's nipple." And I'm like, bro,
Who was sucking mama's teeth? I said that was wild to
and
say
I'm
that.
like,
And
what? He had the balls to say that. And then once you zoom out and look at the
oh,
Namekian,
Navi, Navi.
Navi, he looks at him, and then the way they stare at each other, and when Navi is like,
What's up?
he like, all right,
He's like,
cool. I just got the green lit. I gotta respect you. My apologies. And like this Tamagotchi 2 has no filter. He literally said, "Go home and suck your mother's tea." I'm like, okay,
I was
okay.
like, damn, like no respect for fucking Vegeta. Like, bro, he got shit on with what's the kid's name that was
Oh, the third edge.
Hibis? No, Hibis, the kid that was like, driving Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma in the other plane. Hibis is his name.
Oh yeah.
Um, he got shit on with him, like, oh, you're married with Bulma? Oh, you treat her like shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, he was talking about his hairline. He was
Oh yeah,
talking
the
about like,
hairline, the spiky man.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I love how fucking the princess, the little girl that that had the slave collar, I forgot her name. She was questioning Vegeta's strength, like, oh, is he strong as Goku? I love how Bulma. There's something I appreciate of her character in this. Bulma didn't defend Vegeta, not because as a wife, girl, they need to. Is that she stay quite like, just wait and see. So I love how she let action speak louder than the words. Like, you don't need to question my man if he's stronger than my friend Goku. I don't need to say yes or no. You will see how strong my husband is. So I really appreciate that as a character of Bulma. That, like, as much as Vegeta stole Bulma from Yamcha, but she was loyal to Vegeta no matter what. She's like, that's my Saiyan dick. That's my Saiyan man. He's strong. You will see. So I love that, like, that she was appreciate that of her man and protect at all costs type of shit.
I do also like to. I will bring up like it's very funny in the original Dragon Ball. Like Goku runs into Bulma, who is trying to find the Dragon Balls, and she is a tinkerer. She's a thinker, an engineer, a heart builder. He goes into the demon realm. Who was the first fucking person he runs into? Fucking Pansy. And she's a tinkerer. She's a builder. She's an explorer too. So it's like, no matter what fucking world, what area Goku goes into, he fucking finds a girl who fucking builds. It's so like it's a common trope with Dragon Ball now. Like he'll just definitely find somebody that like builds shit.
It's
So I
just
thought it was
those.
just funny.
It just shows you, like, the character traits when it comes to character Yama, how he knows how to build the characters very well. The last thing I would say when it comes to Piccolo, I love how Neva said the Namekians shouldn't use their power for conflict, and I love how everyone after that stares at Piccolo like,
King
hmm,
Piccolo. If you know,
hmm.
you know.
And then it's funny because Piccolo fights. He chooses to get stronger. He meditates, but he still chooses violence whenever he needs to. Piccolo, as much he doesn't, he will not fight if he don't need to, but he will give the hands. But I love how everyone was staring at him with no filter, like, yeah, interesting, Piccolo. Huh? Namekians don't fight, right? And he's the only one that fights. Then everyone, they don't fight.
I when I heard that, I was thinking that they were referring to, I don't know if you had watched the original Dragon Ball, but um King Piccolo, where he wanted to rule the world and he wanted to use his power to, yeah. So I took that as like, oh, so even OGs say right now, you're not supposed to be doing that, big boy. What's up? Why you acting like that? So definitely Piccolo was humbled from that. He was like, oh,
I feel like it could
I was.
I feel like it can mean both stories in that way. Like, both are the Piccolo of King Piccolo and the one that currently fights. So, giving the hand. So I feel like overall this episode of Legend was very solid, and I really appreciate what we have with Vegeta. Hopefully, next episode 12, this man doesn't get eaten, and hopefully he just comes out Super Saiyan. He be like, yes, thank you, Vegeta. You are the prince. Come out and just beat Tamagotchi too, and just, 1-1, win-win,
So
no
you
loss.
didn't see the preview, did
Oh,
you?
I choose not to. I choose not to see preview. Remember, I don't choose to see a lot of previews, but I don't choose to chat. I don't see I don't see trailers. I don't see preview because I have patience. Patience is a virtue.
All right, that's a fair perspective. I will say, be prepared to be disappointed with your take because that your wish that you're asking for may not come true. That's all
Of
I'm gonna
course,
say.
trust me. As a Vegeta fan, I'm okay. I'm okay understanding that Vegeta may not always get the W he deserves.
No, but overall for Daima, I had mentioned before to Vash. I'll still say it again. The show is an overall 8 out of 10. It's good. It's interesting, and again, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast, for this fall season up until now, this show is binge worthy, and I had binged it in under 2 days. Mind you, I have a life outside of the podcast. I do other things. The fact I was able to watch it in under 2 days is like nothing short of a miracle because it's not uninteresting. If it was boring as hell, if I was not intrigued by it, for sure I would have dropped it the moment like it just got boring for me. But the fact that uh,
I was gonna ask, you got hyped when you saw the King Kai story in the lore of the multiverse, right? Come on, like, you got hyped when you saw that, like, oh, it fucking makes sense. The Dragon Ball Super, all these things, the King Kai, the fucking different planets, the Earths, it's like, it makes sense.
I was spoiled. I will say that much by the
But what I
internet.
mean
So
by
I
context, seeing it actually with context in the actual episode is
Yeah,
what I'm talking
it was
about.
explained. Yeah. So it was like a whole image explaining everything. So I was like a little disappointed. I was like, and people have even outside of the podcast have told me about it. My veteran friends like, yo, like you got to get on Daima's getting fired, explaining the whole lore with the Supreme Kais and the Majins and everything. I'm like, okay. Like I'm like at that point in time, I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. I'm like, okay, I get it, but with some context. But then watching everything, I'm like, oh, it raises the eyebrow. I'm thinking like, okay.
Mm.
Diamond's getting somewhere with the story. I like it, but
Right?
how can they maintain it? How are they gonna push it to super? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And hopefully by that time it does get to Super, we get more news for Super. We might get, a release date potentially. Who knows? Who knows?
All right, all right. So as you know, who knows from what it could lead to? We here for tying with the knot with Amagami Sister, episode 12, and this episode happened, and um, I'm gonna just say I'm mad because this episode didn't fucking explain shit. It literally was just a flashback of, look, chat. I'm gonna literally have it here. Where's it? Time. I'm gonna sister chat. I have this as ranking number 10 out of the list, and I give this episode a 7.5. The real reasoning for staying up late connections, and I'm mad 'cause this episode is like part 2 or part 3 of a story arc of them just hanging out at nighttime. This is like the most longest night going out because it's literally going feeling in blue balls type of way. It's like you're kind of milking the story of who is this person of Riki Ichijoji, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, of how's
Mhm.
connected to Yai. So that's like how I feel. Like I enjoy the episode enough to give a 7.5 itself, but annoyed enough to know like you were making it. We get it. She was something important, but then you're keeping it too vague for suspense for us to get to the next episode, and that's kind of annoying me as a viewer.
I feel I have complete opposite take of you, and I will say this, which is going to be the craziest thing I probably will ever see in this podcast. This episode topped Don Machi, and Don Machi was getting extremely interesting. Honestly, that's saying a lot. As somebody who really likes that show right now, who's talking, so much great things about Don Machi, tied or not, this episode was going harder than fucking Don Machi. So for you to say that it was lower on your ranking is actually crazy to me. But I can get it. You want to get to the point, like, like, okay, you got an origin story, you got the
Yeah, because
flashback, but you're like,
look, it's too vague for me. I get it that he's not supposed to, and like, of course, like the middle sister has to get butt in the middle. It's like, oh, let's take straws, so let's take turns of who goes with who, and then the friend that did the drive, she said, you know what, I'm not interested in going no more, and it just makes the whole dynamic feels too complicated more than it needs to. It's like it feels like if I was there in his position, I would have literally said, "Yo, I'm going with you. Call it a day. Y'all two going over there. Bye." But instead, he's just letting things go either by fate or letting things go by out of his control. But it's just annoying that at the end of the day, fate took control, and it was exactly that. At the end of the day, he had to go find her by himself to in the flashback memory somehow connected him to find her or some shit where she's like, oh, my memory connected. It was her the whole time, but now guess what? We still don't know how it's connected until the next episode, even though the fucking title is called Connections. Like, it's pissing me off. Like, that title literally say the real reason for staying up late. We didn't find the real reason. All we found out is literally the theory that we found out in the last episode that wait, they are the same person that he helped as a kid. Guess what? It was the same person. Okay, cool. And that's it. No, okay, cool. Go fuck yourself.
so I have a whole completely different take. I understand where you're coming from, 100%.
All right, talk to me.
I
Let's go.
feel so. Let's address the elephant in the room real quick. You have Yai and you have Ashi fighting pretty much for Uru right now. You got to remember, like, this guy wants to talk to Yai because he wants to know more about her past. Meanwhile, you have Aishi thinking that Uru likes Yai and they want to do something on the side. So they're fighting to see which one goes in the shrine because it's going to be in the groups of two. Ends up neither of them going with this guy, but together instead. So it's awkward, whatever. Then this whole thing about how, oh, you know, I'm holding, like, I'm by the side the ramp, and then I slip, and then she pushes her away, and she falls down, whatever. She gets a scrape, yada yada yada. Okay. The main thing we gotta remember is that the show is still trying to keep that balance of like, oh, like this guy's still gonna marry one of these girls at the end of the day. Who's it gonna be? So they're still kind of hold on to like kind of that romance aspect of like, oh, like there's still gonna be some competition between the girls. We get that, cool. They're still holding on to that. Now, to Yai, the mask thing at when Uru was trying to find her was a little weird for me. Weird in the sense like it was like a bit creepy because when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck is that? Why is there a flying mask and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just so weird. And I think that mask is, I guess, like
It's
best
symbolic.
way. Not even. I would say connection, and it's weird to say that word, meaning the fact that you did see that connection. I saw it's like you have the mom's rope, tying in past and future events when he's dreaming, and I saw that kind of like a connection to like his past. Maybe it's like a past memory that he might have found, or just like he remembers just seeing it the one time. So he's transported back into the past in a memory. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to dive like, is that a memory? Is he really back in the past? Blah blah blah. I think it's just a memory in that aspect. Okay. It's starting off explaining how Uru knows Yai before she is Yai. The main question everyone's asking is she an Amagami sister? Like, is she part of the Amagami family or is she someone completely different? What I'm assuming, just based off everything we're seeing right now, is maybe it could be the same father, different mother, could be different mother, different father. We really don't know that yet until the next episode. All we know is that the mother in question is very harsh towards Yai. It looks like she's extremely rich. She doesn't have friends. She's very lonely. She doesn't have time to do anything but just be, fed with a golden spoon. So, she has that anime trope of like, oh, locked up being rich girl. I don't know how to get out. Somebody save me.
I'm
So of
locked
course.
up. Don't let me out.
So it's like Yuru has to save her, and we see that happening. That's where the third part comes in. We're gonna see more of that development happening. It is slow. And I was saying last episode, I am starting to get bored of it. But now the stakes are getting more interesting because
Damn,
you're
it got you.
developing.
See, it got you. They milk you enough until they got you. Look, you still in it.
Exactly.
Me, it's like, yo, yeah, milk me, but I'm not interested. I'm not buying the milk. I'm not going back home until you give me the good kind of milk. No, 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 no.
For you, I feel like if the next episode doesn't get to the point, for sure you're gonna be like, why am I still watching this? For me, it's like it has to explain everything by the next episode because it's the third part. That's it. If it doesn't at that point and it's still left with open-ended questions, there's gonna be problems. I don't think so, just based on what we've seen before. Like there's so many things that's been explained overall. It takes time. It's just good things happen to people who wait. This is a kind of rom-com where it's like it's slow. It's gonna develop because we want to see these characters.
Well, I'm waiting too long. That's my honest
uh,
answer.
I'm on the fence because sometimes I like, okay, fine, I'll wait. Sometimes like, bro, like, I do not like, and that's why again this show for me, even though we're halfway done with it, we're on episode going on to episode 13 now. It's a 7 out of 10, despite it having some kind of plot getting somewhere. It's just not my kind of like.
Well, good
I've seen
thing.
better rom-coms.
Yeah, well, good thing I don't have to wait for the next episode of Time to Not, because, oh no, we do. Because we're still getting a next episode 13, no break. We're getting it on Christmas, I
Tuesday.
think. Yeah, Tuesday. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're getting a Christmas Eve episode still. So that means we're not stressed.
But that's my take on it. I get where you're coming from for sure. I'd say if you just have a bit of patience, give it a chance. But if by the end of next episode, if it doesn't give you the answers you want, you have every right to drop it for sure. And like at that point, there's no reason why you should wait that long for an answer.
Exactly, chat. So if you like to be me and who lost patience in this episode, like I said, patience or virtue. Me, I lost my patience for this one, so I'm good to move on for here. You know what we could do rapid fire for next, and our last one is You Are My Servant, episode 11. This episode happened. It's literally a Christmas episode / New Year's episode about one character that found out that it's your birthday on January 1st, and girl felt emotional every single thing that got her sad, and understandable that she felt like she was going to be left on a porch like a dog or a baby being left at an orphanage during the holidays and then just be gone. That's like how sad you were, because understandable that she cried. By the way, the water animation was really beautiful, really well done. You heard the water animation and you seen it very fluidly. I was very impressed on that. But this episode, let me see, what did I give this episode? This was a rating of, for me, a 7 out of 10. This was my ranking 11. Your prayers are God's prayers. This was the name of the episode. And Chad, that's about it. This is my literally rapid fire review of this episode. I enjoyed it. She cried a lot, Yuki, and it's because our boy, what's his name again? Hitoyoshi, it is dumb and clueless. I feel like out of fall season MC characters, he is the dumbest.
So we're not far off from our gradings. You're watching more anime than me. I gave mine pretty much an 8 out of 9. It's the second to last, and I'll explain why my last anime is like worse and worse. Um, I'm at this point now in the anime where I'm just fed up and I'm just trying to get to the end. Mind you, we are now, doing this podcast on the weekend. The last episode has came out and I am in the middle of watching it. So I have not finished the ending, no spoilers, but just from what I've seen in episode 11, right? I do not care that, these two are kind of like having feelings or whatnot. I could rather give a shit. This anime has done literally the worst thing to build up their character development to the point where I'm just like, fuck, there's gonna be a season 2. And I unfortunately have to watch this shit. Do I care enough to watch season 2? Unfortunately, yes, because I'm a completionist. Unfortunately, I have to watch everything through to the end, no matter how dog shit it is.
Man, how nice are
And
you? Because I am like at this point in my life, in my career, in watching animes, doing podcasts and everything. If the show don't interest me no more, I'm gonna drop it. If there's a next season, I'm like, if Human Service season 2 comes out, depending on what's in my slot and in my plate, I'm okay not picking up. I'm good. That's it. It happened. Cute anime. Like I would rather watch Servant season 2 than watching Time with a Not Amagami Sister right now on top of my head if I saw season 2.
that's a crazy take. That's a
Uh,
wild
at
take.
least Human Servant has cute animation, has cute moments, and has some type of chibi forms, and that's it. That's all I got on that one, on that comment. Um, like, is it bad? No, it's just that they blue balls us a lot in this episode. Is that they keep leading off that our main character Hitoyoshi has a bad past, or he's lonely, or he told a girl he loves her and then the girl left her, stopped being best friends with him, and then there's something vague going on with his mom, and then there's nothing else that explains that, and then his birthday is January 1st, but he doesn't even express it. His dad calls him and he doesn't even answer or care for it. So I'm like, you're leaving too many too many questions unopened. So it's like, okay, cool.
He's literally just like Masamune in 2.5 dimensional seduction. The only difference is like man's learns how to like be with other women and he gets a harem. This guy literally gets a fucking maid that may or may not be older than him, and he's just stuck with her, gets feelings for her, but doesn't know how to express it to her. Like, bro, like I had 24 episodes in 2.5 dimensional seduction, and he has technically 3 girls. He has 4 girls, but it's really 3 girls more or less in love with this guy, and he's still getting over his fear of girls. Meanwhile, this guy, straight up pussy, does not know how to like figure out his own feelings to get this Chinese assassin to be with him.
Bro,
Like, make it make sense.
instead of telling her, hey, let's talk about this emotion, I didn't mean what I mean. Instead, he said, hey, I have the bathroom ready for you. Go shower. I'm like,
Yeah, that
and
was the most
and he
stupidest
and
shit.
he even told himself, I think I said the wrong thing. And I'm like, yes, you did. How about
No
fix that?
shit.
And how about fix it? He's like, I'm gonna just stay here, leaning on the floor and on the door, and just be sad to myself. I'm like, I hate hopeless people. Like, probably that's why I get so mad easily when I see hopeless characters acting like this. Because, like, my guy, you're just acting stupid as hell. But what can you do? You're just a character that is doing something that you yourself don't know how to react to, because you don't know how to communicate, because you've been hurt in the past, but you're scared to hesitate. You're scared to tell the person that you want to be with, stay with me forever. I don't want to lose you. And both of these characters, Yuki and Hitoyoshi, are afraid of asking one another how to express their emotion. It's like, speak.
I got a crazy
Speaking
take
of
for you.
Chinese assassin,
Wait,
Ranma is really good, guys. Yeah.
I heard from
Yeah,
God not too long ago that there's a season 2 coming up.
Oh yeah.
yes. Season 2 got announced, and I think that's something that I'm interested in watching, checking out. So maybe sometime in the future, some conversation will be heard about Ranma and Orb. Is what all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, see,
Uh,
so yeah.
my plate, I will not sugarcoat it. My plate is full for winter. When the release date of season 2
Binge
is
it,
announced, if it's
binge it,
spring,
coward.
for sure I can give it a
God,
chance.
God, God wills you to binge it right now. Binge it.
After I finish Ranking of Kings, because I'm like halfway done with it, my lord. I try to finish it.
Ranking of Kings is only good because the second OP is fire. Vondi is fire. You hear me?
100%, sir. 100% trying to finish that. But once I'm done with that, it's off to Juju Kaisen, and then I'll probably try to binge
How
Ranma this
about
year.
this? Skip Jujutsu mid and go to Ranma.
Ooh, a
So
hot take. I
before
like this.
so before we get sidetracked about mid, what we can continue saying is Yumi's servant is also mid, and we can continue on. Is that correct?
Yeah, it made a shit.
Okay, sure,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Yumi Servant, as you heard, chat, is a solid 7 out of 10. It's mid, and episode 11 was good, enjoyable. To express your emotions as human beings and have emotional intelligence. And if you don't, try to communicate to one another. We won't hurt, as long as you communicate and express your thoughts. Don't assume. Other than that, let's go for the next segment of ranking of the.
Vash, what I will say, I'm glad
I
we
gotta
agree on
ask.
this for once. We usually talk shit about like how we're saying some things are not mid. At least we can agree for once. This shit is straight mid.
Hey,
I gotta ask. Have we talked about Dandadan yet?
No,
Oh, that's at
that.
the very
Oh,
end.
sorry, sir. God, it seems like you haven't done the wise man homework. It is in the document. Is
Right.
that is number 6 for anime spotlight. That's the over review for Danadan season 1. We're getting the highlights of Danadan. That's the last segment because we're about to do our second to last segment, which is the ranking. So without further ado,
Right.
let's rapid fire our ranking, and I'm gonna just put the time code for this real quick, Chad.
All right, I got you. I'm with you for this one.
All right, so
I can rank one of the things, surely.
So ranking of the week, I'm gonna start off from 1 to 14. Since chat already told you quick spoilers of that, I'm gonna go big one. I'll become a villain, so goes on in history. It's number 12, not a shocker, chat, not a shocker. Episode 12 out of 13 is the villainess is the Saints. And you know why this is number 1? Because we finally get the fucking power revealed of this fucking heroine bitch, and we finally get to know what it was. And chat, co-host, God, do you want to know what this chick has? She has charm magic. The most basic shit that is obviously in any type of witch or any type of power is charm magic. So anything that goes around her, she's lucky. So it makes sense. Charm magic is something I should have figured out ages ago,
So
or
she's
like
Freya.
she's Freya in a way, yes. She has charm magic in a way. She's anybody around her will love her no matter what because of her mood and emotions. So if she gets angry, everyone around her will get angry. And if she's happy, everyone gets in a happy mood and the mood changes. So makes sense. The MC, our villainess Alicia, told her what's up. Hey, this is your magic. This is what you've been doing. Everyone around you don't love you for you. Everyone loves you because you curse magic. And this kind of broke the MC heroine. She's like, wait, what? Nobody loves me. Wait, I've been using my magic without knowing. Oh, and then it was cute that she accepted it. It kind of got a bit conflicty, and because it got awkward because the MC heroine literally confessed the love to the Prince Duke in front of Alicia and in front of the Prince, because she literally said, I've been in love with you since I met you. And the Duke was like, yeah, good for you, but I don't love you. I love Alicia. And literally said it straight up like that, like, that's cool for you, but I won't ever love you. Because even the heroine asked him, like, hey, will you ever love me? Will you ever love me? And the Duke was like, no, I'm sorry. And she asked him, like, if I met you first before Alicia, would you still love me? And he didn't even answer. He's like, the way he stood quiet, like, I don't even want to think about that. I don't even think about not meeting Alicia. That's like my lover. Like, that's the person that he's ride or die. And I love that. And throughout the end of the episode, Duke asked her, I will wait for your answer. I love you. And that will never change. I'll wait for you to tell me. And the way Alicia was like, fuck, how do I answer? How do I answer? And like the Duke was like, you don't need to answer now. And the Duke just put the one finger on the lips, like, it's okay, I'll wait for you to answer. And I was like, oh, spicy. Oh, yes, yeah. And I don't really get excited for things like that, but just to see that where Alicia, the character, was just starstruck is like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just in her mind, she spoke a monologue saying like, "I do love him, but I don't know how to respond to this." So it was really cute to see that she's been the villainess, or in her eyes, like the villainess, but technically, girl's been like the good character the whole time without accepting it. And by the end of the episode, remember a couple weeks ago, I said that we found out that the actual prince or king of the kingdom is actually alive of the older brother. The older
Yeah,
brother and younger brother finally met each other. They both got emotional. They accepted one another. They're speaking about the memories of explaining what's been going on and what happened. And Alicia got told by the Duke, hey, what I heard from my father, he's gonna give you a prize and everything. And she asked one thing: can I not be the watcher no more of the MC heroine? Like I don't want to. I want to take a break from that job. I did my job. The heroine knows that she has charm magic. She's gonna do good now. She's gonna learn her magic. She's gonna learn how to be a scientist. And something I also appreciated from this episode a lot, and why it's my number one, is because the scientist, the the heroine says something beautiful, Crash, and something I love. She said that any human could relate to. She said, I was having expectation from people around me, accepting for me who to expecting me to to be somebody without telling me how to be that person. And that's something beautiful, because for any person, any child, sister, brother, sibling, anybody, even ourselves, we have expectations from our parents, expectations from our friends, expectations from the peers, to be somebody who they want us to be or expect us to be, when we don't know ourselves how to get there. So she was told, you are the saintess, you are the hero of the kingdom. In her eyes, cool, but how the fuck do I become that person? Where in her eyes, she got told by people, you are this person, where in reality, she didn't even know how to be that person. And I appreciated her response, saying that expressing her sorrow, expressing her pain. She like, everyone was being nice to me, my friend. I thought it was from the genuine of the heart, but it was from my magic, and I never knew how she became lucky. So that was something I appreciate, expression from the heroine. That's something I love, and why it's number one. And I can't wait to see how the next episode ends, how it wraps up the season 13. I mean, episode 13, and wrapping the season one as a whole, because I'm sure it's going to get season two in the future, and I could wait until 2026, even 2027, because I know that right now with the current story is about to be catch up to the mangas, what I heard. So I'm okay that they're not trying to do too much, and I can't wait to tell where the story goes, because this was solid. And Alicia did so good to save everyone from the school, where not everyone's accepting Alicia as kind of like the popular person now. She's like, oh, she's actually a great person. Like, yes, bitches. Sometimes when you are truthful, you're not rude. You just have a rude tone, but sometimes you have the goodness of the people. So that's something I appreciate as well. So this was my number one. Any comments before I move on for my next episodes?
so
Sorry, next
I
rankings.
will, yeah, I will say just real quick. I have seen, I know the episode is going to come out Christmas in Wednesday, and I have seen a lot of things about this anime. Despite its average score online right now, I think if I were to give another anime a chance this season, I probably would give it that, only because it has had so much traction for whatever reason online. Just anytime I'm on social media, whether I'm on, X, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, I'm seeing this specific anime alone. Just yeah, say her name wrong. Alicia, I'm seeing her every
Alicia, yeah.
single time. Yeah, Alicia, every single time. Either past episodes, current episodes, just like her just doing something spectacular. So, no, unfortunately, I'm not gonna watch it. But given the chance, if I were to have given one more anime, a shot, definitely give it that.
I would say this one or the Talker anime. I will give either those two as my suggestion. If you're gonna pick one random one of this fall season to just binge, I would say this one or the Talker anime.
I was gonna say the Talker. I would lean more towards the Talker anime. That one has a higher rating, and it was mentioned. Like I said, the one thing I always look between animes is either the amount of people watching it, the amount of traction online, and whether or not it's worth like the genres or something that I'm into. The Talker anime for sure would have been more of my I would swing more that way than the villains goes down in history, but not to disrespect it anyways, because it has been talked about a lot this season. I have to give respect where it's due. So I hope it ends well for you, and I hope do get your season 2. Because if that is the case, and I hear good things about it, best believe, and you can guys can quote me on this in the podcast. Best believe I would give it a shot in season 2.
Awesome. So I can't wait for that. So for my number 2 is Dragon Ball Daima, Blue Box is number 3, Spirit Chronicles number 4, and the one that me and God love for this fall season is the most notorious talker runs the world greatest clan. This is not just the rating of the episode, this is the rating of the overall season. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Episode 12 was The Snake Has Wings, and this man Noel, you are a bastard, respectfully. Not just because you're a bad guy, but it's because you are an asshole when it comes to the character of the notorious talker. You talk your shit and you talk your shit wonderfully. And you, like, imagine you being so good by stealing your opponent top member leader and bring him to your side. Like, that was insane. Even me and Crash was watching the episode while me was chatting up, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, and I just gave a faceless reaction of what the fuck, because this man, before he asked the opposing team leader to join him, hey, join my team because of this and this and this. And the speech was, by the way, great. I gave Crash a reference, like the way Noel spoke to the opposing leader. What was his name? Leon. He gave to Leon. He said, "Hey, join my team because of this and this." The speech was so good that gave me goosebumps. Not saying the same level of speech, but the same type of near. It was the speech of Attack on Titan when Erwin gave his, like, hey, we're going all out against the Beast Titan. This will be the moment that we stand. We may all die, but we could die for bravery and die for freedom and etc. He gave the whole speech. Beautiful. Dub and sub is great. Haven't heard the other languages, but I'm sure it's great.
That's a wild take.
When it comes to Noel, this speech was a great because it's talking about being selfish. In our society or in storylines, you're not always meant to be selfish. You're supposed to be selfless. You're supposed to look out for others. But Noel tells Leon, like, hey, things happen. You fuck up. Life happened. Whatever it may be. But now you're in this road. Your team left you. You lost against me. Join me and we will roar to the sky. We will fly. The thing I love about him that he said is because Noel told him, your team, original team, was going to fail no matter what. Because imagine when you have the OP powers, but your team only has natural skill that they gain by just trial and error, and they gain. But you have OP skill that you are born with, and you are look like a god. So imagine you as a guild, you will always go up and higher in name, but you'll be known as the name of you and your person. Your clan, your people around you will be fodder. They will be like side characters, and that's how your team could possibly fail, because when your team becomes side characters in a grander scheme, that's not good. So Noah explained that, like, look, but if you join me, we all become big. We all become the big stars we're meant to be. So that kind of brings your eyes open. So I really love that when it comes to Noah and his character. He convinced him, even though he's a bastard type of way that did it, he convinced him very well. So no, to me, he did great. And I'm going to say this, the one thing I told Crash, he chopped off the dude that he was talking. He chopped off his nose. That shit was unexpected. And the way he told the dude, like, hey, you fuck with me one more time, I'm gonna do this to you, your friends, and your family, and have them look like this. Bro, the way the anime drew the snake, drew the way that he's like a viper, bro, it was fucking brutal. It was deadly. Like, yo, I'll chop off your nose and your whole family. I will chop them in the whole generations. I love it. And it shows the brutality. It shows that Noah's willing to go to the end of the world to get what he wants. And I get that. And I love that for a character. It shows the ambitious. It shows the hunger for success. I have that. And I love it when characters have that. The last thing I would say about this, Noah, you're crazy. Because guess where? Crash, guess where this motherfucker got his clan house? Guess where he got his clubhouse? In an old abandoned asylum.
That sounds like him. That
It
sounds
sounds
like
right.
something he
Thank
would.
you. His whole clan was like, his whole group and party was like, you serious? No, it's like, this is perfect. This is perfect for us. This works amazing. And I got it for cheap. His whole clan was like, I guess, yeah, sure. All of them had the dripping, all of them had the had the dripping tear eye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why? Why do we have him as our leader? Why do we have to be in a asylum type of warehouse, clan house? Why? So I felt bad for them so bad. In the way their new name is called Wild Tempest. Love that name, Wild Tempest. For anybody that also watched the Tamagami reincarnated as a slime, his village, his clan, or his Federation Nation is called the Tempest. So it works. I love that. The name is pretty cool. Anytime I reference to my boy Slime Rimuru is gold. So great episode, great season. Would this be a show I don't mind rewatching? Yes. In a binging, it would be better because it was slow in some episodes. It was a lot of build up and a lot of setup. It felt like this was like a prequel for the season to really start, but that doesn't take it away with it. It was still the monologue and the story of the character really is what upheld it. So that's why I give the show an 8.5 out of 10. Any questions before I rapid fire the next of my ranking?
The only thing I'd ask is, do you expect it to have a season
Oh
two,
hell
or
yeah,
it?
for sure. It is for sure of season two. It's set up for season two for sure.
Okay.
Because this cover only 2 volumes is what I recall.
So then I guess we'll see potentially maybe 2025. We might see it come out.
Yes, 2025 or 2026, 2027. I got patience. For number 6 is Tower of God. Look, chat, I could tell you what it went through. All I'm gonna say is that and Dorsey said, honey, honestly, when are we gonna go on our date? To the opponent. Could you not casually drop my boyfriend's name? It's annoying. To the opponent. Because they keep saying, yo, we gotta go get bomb / Viola. And Dorsey's like, can you not say my boyfriend's name? She's literally calling bomb after reuniting. Hey, that's my boyfriend. Really. Like, Dorsey, get your
Yes,
patience.
sir.
Get your panties in a bunch. Have fucking
Yes,
patience,
sir.
woman. I'm like, God damn. And the other thing I will shout out is that Kun. That's like a that's like his like that's like his best friend. That's his homie. Because Bomb said, I'm gonna go by myself and I'm gonna take them out. Kun's like, sir, no, you're not. We just got reunited. Even Rack, even my boy the dinosaur, he literally said, we're not letting you out of our sight. We lost you for 5 years. We thought you was dead. We didn't know where you went. We're not letting you out of our sight. We're gonna go find you and we're gonna see what's up. So I love that how Kun and Rack didn't let him go. And Leroy, I have questions. And I need them to be answered for episode 25 and 26 because episode 25 has already dropped. By the time you guys see this recording, episode 25 has dropped. So we will find out more about episode 25 26. Really can't wait. Have more thoughts once we wrap up on week 13 or week 14, since 26 will be coming on week 1 of the winter season. So it's going to be interesting on that time. So I will give my full review on Tower of God in that week, in that time. But in Dorsey, Kuhn, love it. Leroy, have questions. And my red orange hair character, please do not be dead. Please do not be dead. I need you to be alive because I need you to answer more questions because you're going to be dying. And who else can I say? That's a bit, yeah. Leroy. The reason I keep saying him because I'm mad because you just said like 2 comments and Bomb was like, yeah, I met him. And then everyone was like, wait, you met the strongest ranker alive and you kept out alive, and everyone was just asking a question and then they just cut it off. So either that happened more in the webtoon and they just cut it off for, for pacing and story wise. But I'm mad because I'm like, bitch, I need more answers. This was not answered for me. So what the fuck are you doing, Leroy? You're blue balls in me. And Crash, we have 30 minutes before they have to leave and depart. So in reality, we have 2 episodes. So that means we should wrap this up. There's no Dragon Ball Super time where 5 minutes is 30 episodes. There's no Dragon Ball Super where it's 1 hour and we get like 45 or 60 episodes of a 20-minute power. So I'm really curious to see how this 30 minutes of Tower God is going to handle. If it ends by next episode, then that means we have a good type of epilogue for 26. So I am very excited for that.
Okay. I mean, it could transition into a whole different scenario. I have again, I have seen read the webtoons up until this point. From here on out in the anime, I have not read anything past it in the webtoon since I have first watched it when I was younger. So I have no idea what happens from here on out. I'm in the same boat as you, roughly. I don't know if you're up to. Are you up to date with the webtoons by any chance? I
No,
don't.
I haven't read the webtoon once in my life.
So then, I can't even begin to tell you what's going to happen from here on out. In Dorsey, I've always loved Endorsey, for Bam. Unfortunately, I don't know if it does come true or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Fuck Rachel's always fuck that bitch. I don't care what anybody says. I know Gremlin God has his own opinions on the matter, but that swimsuit. I think that was last episode. I might be behind, but that swimsuit moment didn't have to go so hard for us.
Yeah,
I feel like it was in the webtoons. I feel like I've seen it. If it wasn't and I'm bugging out, then definitely it is new to the anime. So definitely we're getting a bit of fan service for us. Um, because looking online, I don't see anything, but that's the internet. Eventually something will come up. Um, that being said though, um, what did you feel about the animation for season two, part two? Because I know a lot of controversy is coming up about how it has gone down significantly
has it
from
gone down
part.
significantly? Yes, but not too much. Where it's like the PowerPoint scenes that we saw in episode 8 and 9. That was in part one of season two. But I will have a better criticism when we wrap up the show by episode 26 in 2 weeks. So by the time we saw episode 25 tomorrow Sunday for us as recording, and by next Sunday, episode 26 on the 29th of December. So once we have that week, I will have a better answer for you. By this moment, it's hard to say once we see the big cliffhangers fights that we have left. So I will have a better chance to say, hey, they saved their money where the budget works, on the big climatic. So I'll probably have a better answer for that.
What I will say at the end of the day overall is if season three would have come out in 2025, I hope to God they do a better job, take their time to animate a lot of this. There is so much with Tower of God that has came out with the webtoons. I'm not even up to date with it, and it's way, way, way further on in the arc. I think it was like up to arc three still, if I'm not mistaken. I could be really wrong with that, but if Tower God continues on as an anime, I feel like the animation studio, the creators have to take a bit more time to animate to make this a show where people can go back and be like, okay, they had a bumpy road season two, but they could definitely bring it back in season three because if they're just gonna animate for the money, just to produce whatever at this point, then they literally have lost this show after season one. But I'll give it a benefit of doubt. Whatever the ranking is for season two, whether it's with you, Vash, whether it's for the people, the average score doesn't matter. I feel like season two just an awakening for them, thinking, okay, you guys had something going on with the animation, and it's fine. It could be brought back because Tower God still has a lot of story in the webtoons. There's still a lot to cover. There's time to bring it back in a great way. I just hope they don't rush it. If they do rush it, this is another failed project, another webtoon series that just unfortunately couldn't be as good as Solo Lovely. But it is what it is with that. We'll have to wait and see what season three holds, and I can't wait to hear your score for season two. Honestly,
Yeah, for the season, you guys will find out in the next 2 weeks episode that you will see where Tower of God stands. But for my next and last rankings, I will say this. Well, Dana Dun is number 7. As for this week 12, and I'll give you guys the review once me and Crash will talk about it, so check in the time code. And for number 8 is As a Reincarnated Aristocrat. I will give my better comment of overall review for next week since this is still one episode missing. But I will say about this episode, it was hard whenever you beat your perfect sibling. Because in this episode was mostly aimed and targeted when you have to outmaneuver, outsmart your opponent, and your older sister is the smartest one. So how can you outmaneuver her when she knows all your moves? So really curious to see how the next episode ends. Is because remember how the past couple of episodes I've been saying that our MC has been winning so many battles as this is his first war.
mm-hmm.
Eventually he's gonna lose a battle. He has to lose so he can learn from his mistakes and be better next time around. I think this will be his first loss. I think he's gonna lose, not lose badly or like somebody's gonna die, but he's gonna get a shock in reality. And that's something's important because you cannot just be perfect winning all the time. You have to have one loss record to understand that not everything you predict could go correctly. Because in battle, information is key. Guess what? In this scenario, they get information, but now can you trust your opponent that they're willing to surrender, or is this a ploy so they could get you in your weak spot? So all these type of things is like, how can you out strategize your opponent when you're supposed to know them? So I love that type of strategic when it comes to battles and when it comes to animes and storytelling, when you gotta outmaneuver, out strategize, but then you yourself could be out strategized when you overthink. All those little type of nuggets really is major key.
Yeah, you're playing 4G chess in your head against
Exactly.
other people. But the point to that, like, don't fall for the traps. Do
Exactly.
not assume. Definitely play it safe and see what your opponent does, lest you lose it all.
And number 9 is Demon Lord 2099, episode 10, Akihabara 3 Great Houses. Straightforward, good episode. A solid 8 out of 10 rating for this episode. If you want to hear more thoughts about it, stay tuned for the next 2 weeks episode. By the time Tower of God finishes, this show will also be finishing, so stay tuned for more full coverage for that better. And then for 10, Time with a Knot with Amagami Sister, like I spoke. You Are My Servant, episode 11, like I said. And number 12 is Goodbye Dragon Life. The show has ended, and I give this rating a 6.5 out of 10 overall. Like I said, this anime is, if you are an old anime watcher and you want to enjoy something to just kick back, watch a good lore, watch a good type of slice of life, like literally, this guy lives in a town of the boonies, and he's doing what he got to do to get reincarnated, live a regular dragon life, to live as a human life. And the one thing I didn't like about the ending of this episode, because my dude technically got a stab, heart, chest in episode 10, and then episode 12, after his flashback or slash little type of acid trip, this motherfucker has no hole in the heart, and he's living like a regular day in the town where there's no type of like, oh, he got stabbed in the chest, he has no heart, blah blah blah. None of that shit happens. So like, what the fuck? And he finally figures out that he wants to be with a person that's a snake, or technically it's called a lamia. And it's like, motherfucker, cool, you are want to be with this monster. And she accepts it, and they perform a truce, no, a contract to, because she becomes his familiar, which is like more questions. It's like, okay, you just became a servant in a way, but to live in the society, in the human world, so makes sense logically. So other than that, like, there's not much to express in this anime itself, because you guys could check the full weekly reaction of mine that I've been given for Goodbye Dragon Life. But if you enjoy a little type of reincarnation, go check it out. There's others that are better, but this one was a 6.5 out of 10. Is it trash? No. Is it mid? Yes. Is it bad? No. That's about it. Honestly, it's enjoyable for what it was.
I did say to you before the podcast started that I do want to mention something about
Yes.
this show overall.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just the same thing with the other show that we were just speaking about. With this one in particular, the only reason, and I would be a little more judgmental with the anime. I would say it is trash in my opinion. It To say it's mid is very fair. I think that's 100% a very fair statement. The only reason why this anime is even where it is right now in terms of its standing, it should be way lower. The only reason why it is where it is right now is because pretty much of the main character, Celia. I'm saying her name wrong. Cecilia.
It's it's Selena. Selena.
Selena, sorry. Yeah. Uh, I've seen only pictures of her, not even the M's, the guy, or any of the other characters. Just strictly her. I've only seen a blonde girl, pretty
And
much.
she's not that good looking. She's cute and adorable moments, but that's about it. That's all I'll say.
The fact that it's not even like the main like girl. It's not even like a super hot girl. It's borderline mid, and she's the only one coming up in social media is crazy to me. And I thought that was weird at one point. So I guess the internet has a weird taste, but I'm not one to judge them for that. But that being said, if it wasn't for her as a character, definitely, this show would not even be where its ranking is. It would have been so much more lower. So it's just because of that one character, it is where it is, and that's really crazy.
And then last one is the healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. Episode 11 is in the bottom. Afroreta had no episode for this week. And the healer anime, you'll find out next week. But honestly, guys, so far this episode was a 6 out of 10. It was the weakest episode. And like I told Crash, I have it here in my review notes in the document. I got tired of this anime too late in the game, but I was still interested to see how this ends. They killed the final boss of the dungeon, very anticlimactic. But then the final boss is coming out and killed a side character that I didn't even care about. They're following a folklore from the legend and it's coming true. Do I care? No. Episode 12 came out today and I just want to watch it so I can check it off my list. Literally word by word is what I wrote on the document, and that's how I feel, Cap.
I respect it.
But you know what? I spoke enough about my ranking. I spoke enough about my review of where I rank shit. Oh, by the way, chat, I still have Yakuza as number 15 and still at episode 3 out of 12.
All right. Well, if we're gonna still, transgress to my ranking.
Yes. What's your ranking of the list?
My rankings are gonna be very quick. I'm gonna make this very short for you guys as usual. Like Vash said, Arfuera has skipped a week, so it's not on my list. Best believe it's gonna come back next week, and I'm hearing good things about it so far. I have a crazy take already, and the episode hasn't even started, so get ready for that. But that being said, I only have 8 on my list. It's usually 9, not even 10, but 8 this time around, very short. 2.5 Dimensional Seduction had finished last week, so that's off, the board. And Dun Da Dun, we will speak on very soon. So Blue Box is my top episode. It's going to be my number 1. Number 2, Dun Da Dun. Number 3, Tying the Knot with the Amagami sister, excuse me. Number 4 is around to try to pick up girls in a dungeon. The war games just started with Freya, and Bill's getting his ass kicked. That's pretty much it. I thought it was more, the romance aspect was more interested in fucking Bill getting his ass whooped by fucking, Otto. And I was just like, I don't care. Like, just show me when something interesting more happens. I knew this was going to happen. I don't really give a fuck.
It's just the way you just said it. Like, yes, so, Bell's getting his ass kicked. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
oh,
it.
damn, he's just getting his ass whooped, just getting hands done. Damn, okay, cool.
Freya's Familia is very strong. That's really nothing more to say. Like, we all knew that later. What I will say is, the crazy part of that whole episode was, Freya's healer. I don't know her name. Is pink hair girl. They burn her alive, straight up burn her, like her whole skin and everything, her clothes. You seeing borderline titties, vagina, whatever. But you see also like her eye almost coming off like her skin, and she has a resurrection spell right now that's like auto healing her, which was wild. And the healer, which we all know most healers are fucking weak. This healer is whipping everyone's ass. That's how you know from Freya's Familia's OP AF. But past that, it's just them kicking everyone's ass. There's nothing really crazy about that. So
all right.
I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen next episode. I thought it was mid. I knew, fighting Autoro, they're gonna be like even, but nothing really of interest that's been crazy. Next to that, number 5 is Dragon Ball Daima. We already spoke about that. Like I said, very interesting. Good 8 out of 10. I plan for Daima to stay more or less the same way. It could be number 5, number 4, unless a major battle happens. Because right now it's just more of a lore aspect, learning more about Daima than anything. To that, number 6 is Yorma's Servant. And I was very generous with that. The only reason why it is my second to my third to last was because it wasn't as bad as the last 2. Number 7, Yakuza Fiance. Pretty much.
Well, by the way, was it the last episode of Yakuza, or is there one more left?
Second to last. There's one more left.
Okay, so that's episode 11. Okay.
Yeah. At this point, if you have not dropped the whole show,
to drop it,
kudos to you. Because at this point, like, this show is getting nowhere. I could care less anymore at this point about the show.
So I'm glad I didn't continue it. I'm glad. I'm gonna probably just drop it then.
To make this very simple right now, right? Yoshino is having like a love triangle problem, between Kirishima and Shoma. That is literally it. You know why they're fighting each other for their own ways to look good and to look bad in their own sakes. But the main thing that has to be explained is like, just fucking confess feelings already or something like that. Because if you don't, then the other guy's gonna take the other guy, for the other girl, etc., etc. It's just so redundant. Again, it's a romantic story that is not for everybody. It is a more toxic kind of romantic story. If you like those kind of things, you'll definitely like Yakuza Fiance. But at this point now, it's like I don't care for it. I've seen better romance animes than this shit. It's mid. I'm gonna watch it to the end just to see how it ends. I think they're gonna get together, Kirishima and Yoshino. But overall, like I could give a fuck honestly about this whole thing, which wasn't even as worse as the final anime on my list, which I'm very disappointed about personally, which is MF Ghost. Um, the race at the peninsula is about to begin. Literally, the next episode, even going into this episode that we just passed, was the introduction of the peninsula race. What we see happen before that is this guy, the MC, I'm forgetting his name right now, but we're seeing him pretty much and Ren going on this date. Cantana, excuse me, Cantana. Him and Ren are like pretty much still like meeting up and trying to find shrines. Katana says the craziest shit to Ren. Ren is crying. She's running away. She's tired because she's been studying for tests. And she's fainting on the train tracks. And Katana is running towards her to save her, right? The reason why it's low in my list is the way the animators made her fall off the tracks. So on one way, you're like in one point of view, one scene, you're seeing her like tilt, like falling, like you see like the whole like dizziness aspect, like you see like the train sign and it's falling down. Okay. And then right after that, the next scene is her fucking literally 180 like to the side, just like and falling onto the train tracks. I'm just like, that's not fucking realistic. That's not how you fucking fall down. Like, what? Why the fuck would they do that? And then it's just like, yeah, she fell down. And then Cantada saves her, but hurts his elbow really hard saving her. So now he can't race in the peninsula race now. He can't use his dominant hand to switch gears in the race. And there's no time to like add any accessories or add any modifications to the car to help him. So he's gonna compete with a handicap. Is that enough for him to secure a good lead, knowing that he's still injured? And then I'm sorry, Ren and Kantan are still having like this awkward little moment where he says some wild shit to her. I'm not gonna say what out loud, but let's just say like he said some stupid shit that he wasn't supposed to say. She's an angel. She's gonna see him in the race. Are they gonna be able to fix like their feelings and get back together or what? I don't know. I thought that shit was so retarded. I'm here for the race. Vash. I love the music. I love hearing the Euro beat. Like, you know when you're driving really fast and you put your foot on the accelerator and you're just hearing like the most you're hearing the most fire ass music as you're going like 90 down the highway. That's what I want to see next episode. I know content has hurt, but past that, there's gonna be season 3 without a doubt. When that season is gonna come, who the fuck knows? It could be the same thing. Another year, we'll catch it probably winter 2026, probably. Which again, like I don't mind. But with his injury, is there gonna be like a big plot twist? It's gonna like be like, oh, I don't know, and I don't even know if that's gonna be enough for it to save its score. I was gonna give it a good 8 out of 10 because last season was a 9. Now it's looking like I might make it a mid and give it a 7 if it doesn't get better in my next episode.
Oh wow, that's a big drop. Okay. Respect. So that's a good ranking. Chat, hopefully you like our 14 and number 8 rankings. Hopefully you like our list. So now let's transition into the next one and last segment. Well, chat, hopefully we didn't blue balls you because our next transition was going to be the Danadan overall episode 12/season 1 review. However, we're going to clip it out, check out on Tuesday morning, or if you're watching this as a VOD later already throughout the week, go check out, as you see from the tab here in the top corner, check out the Danadan full review season 1 from myself and Crash, because, you saw the 2-hour podcast already. I don't want you to guys see more, but if you're watching the audio feed, you could also check out the Off Da Binge episode review because it will be there too. So go check that out. Other than that, let's check out for our outro because this is the wrap on our episode 9 of Off Da Binge, but week 12. We have fully covered, not fully week 12 weeks of fall season because we started late on our launch of Off the Binge, but we started, I believe, 8 weeks left of Off the Binge. I mean, of 12 weeks. So, we started, but winter season is around the corner. I'm excited because we're about to see my boy Sung Jin Woo solo leveling. Chat, you guys are going to get annoyed every single week when I have solo leveling as my episode of the week. Jokes aside, because I'm gonna probably have Dr. Stone, Sakamoto, just other episodes will come out by my boy Sung Jin Woo. I'm excited for my boy. Arise. But that is literally my reflection for this episode. It was great discussion for our fall season, our first coverage on a weekly show. This is something that me and Crash have been talking about for weeks and months that we love to talk about every season. And then me and him spoke like literally on a random time. Hey, let's just launch this show. Let's do this. Boom. Let's just launch it and see how we're doing. Just change it week to week, improve it our own style. And we're fucking finally here on week 12, ending on our episode 9 video. So it's exciting. We appreciate for everyone that's been checking out the comments, the chat, the likes, and you just enjoying it. And let us know your weekly shit because it's fun. I know my list is not the same as everyone. We don't have the same list, and he's my co-host. We don't have the same one out.
Like I say, Vash, it's good to have different opinions and takes, and it's good we have that different ideologies because it's good to try to convince us to try to make each other like different animes overall, which is really good.
Exactly. So any last thoughts before we head out?
Um, all I will say to you, chat viewers, first off, thank you again for your support for helping us build this podcast to what it is. Um, my first season overall, on a podcast explaining about the season reviews is probably like one of the coolest things me and Vash could ever do. Um, Thank you so much. There's so many things to thank yous I could really say, but really thank you. Now that the fall anime 24 season is mostly over, we may potentially get a week 13. Stay tuned. Next week, see if we get that. But majority of it, of the episodes are now coming to an end. We are now transitioning our to the winter 2025 anime season. Prepare for upcoming lists of anime that we will be personally watching for that season.
Yes.
I
Stream. Stay tuned.
best believe the list I have this season is not going to be the same I had last season. I have a lot, and I mean, chat, a fucking lot of anime I'm going to be watching, and a bit of anime I'm keeping an eye on. So definitely stay tuned for our personal lists. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. That is an episode we promise you do not want to miss out on.
Definitely, chat. So without further ado, stay tuned for the episode 10. We'll be giving our first thoughts and reviews of week 13 of the synopsis of the new winter season as well. Stay tuned for the stream. As we will be having maybe a stream. Stay tuned for that, or probably a video or Twitch. See something. We will post notifications. Stay tuned, and follow social media. We appreciate you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. And thank you for listening. Off the Binge, and we're out.